All right, good morning. We're going to talk a little bit about chapter 15. We're on the home stretch. We got 15 and 16 left, and we want to go through. I want you guys to see these videos that you and your classmates have done, and for the most part, you guys had fun with it, I think. Very good work on that, so it was a successful first run, something that I want to keep in the class moving forward. Something that I think is a positive overall. It got some of you out of your comfort zone, and honestly, that's not a bad thing either, because if you weren't real comfortable talking just to a camera by yourself, then if you're in a recreation therapy setting and you got people, you're about to try to motivate several people to do an activity, you're going to have to get out of that shell just a little bit anyway. So this is a good practice to speak to people without even actually having to speak directly to them. So not a bad thing. So what I want to do, I'm going to go to Blackboard, and we're going to share the screen here and talk a little bit about chapter 15, and then once we do that, we're going to go over a few more of your adaptive device videos. All right, so as you see, today we're talking about managing service quality in healthcare. So think about ourselves as usual as being the managers, the leaders, the administrators, and we are, part of our goal is to make sure that what we're providing is what our clients deserve, as far as the quality of the service that we're giving. This is just a triad, not anything that I will make you draw on a test or anything like that, but basically the healthcare concerns that people look at, we want to have high quality healthcare while keeping costs to a minimum or reducing if possible, and giving improved access to healthcare. And that's something that's always, it was big in, I don't know if anybody watched the debates. If you did, you probably had a nervous breakdown like me, but they talked about access to healthcare and cost reduction in healthcare and, prescription drug prices and things like that. So they were touching on some of these healthcare concerns. One that is not there is choice, which is something else that is really something that a lot of people care about when it comes to their healthcare. They want to have choice of physician, even down to the situation, like the right to try laws, where they can do like groundbreaking treatments that may not be fully approved, but if they're in a situation where they have a terminal illness or something that's going to be progressive, they want the right to try. So that all fits into this triad, maybe a little from the side, but it's all there. So we all know what quality is. It's the degree to which services increase the likelihood of desired outcomes and care consistent with the current practice. So quality is how well are we doing what we are there to do. If you buy a pair of blue jeans, you expect them, you hope they're going to last you for 2 years, let's say. Of course, I probably won't be the same size for 2 years, long enough to wear a pair of jeans, but that's besides the point. You want, and then you hear the adage, you get what you pay for. And I have found, especially with my taste in jeans, since we're off topic already. The ones that I like are expensive and they last a long time. If I buy a cheaper, different brand, then they're not going to hold up as well. They're not going to be as comfortable. I don't want to wear them because they just don't feel right. You know, that's the quality difference where it plays in. You know, I want a certain look. I want them to be comfortable, and that's the quality I'm looking for. Your customer role is, they have a role in quality. Their expectations determine the importance of quality patient-centered care. That's one thing that we always have to remember in recreation therapy, is to be patient-centered. And by being patient-centered, that's going to, in large part, ensure quality. Because if we're taking the time to find out whether or not our clients are, you know, doing the things that they want to do, that they feel like they're getting benefits, then we're doing our part to make sure that quality, that's a big part of what we do, is through relationships and speaking with them to find out whether or not they're happy with the services we're providing. Now, you're going to have difficult patients. You don't want to come in and get a update at the end of every class. You know, how'd I do? You know, we don't do that. But you can sit down with them on a one-to-one setting and find out how they feel everything's going. You know, how do you like it here? How do you like the things you're doing? Is there anything that you have any ideas as far as what we're doing for recreation activities that would be fun to you, something you think would help? You know, just, you're not guaranteeing that you're going to incorporate those things, but you're giving that option to them to speak to you and feel like they have a say in what they're getting. So in order to quantify quality, there's got to be the achievement of some pre-established standard or desired level of service. So, you know, it could be either number, you know, we are going to serve X number of patients per week, can be looked at as quality because you are having things set up properly, scheduled, planned. You have the materials and the available staff to serve that many people. That is a quantity, but it's also, if it is a pre-established standard, it can count, you know, as the quality of what you're able to put together. More importantly, though, a desired level of service. You want to know that what you're doing is benefiting your patients. So and you have to have in order to tell whether or not you're doing that, you need to have pre-established standards. You know, with recreation therapy, a lot of times we're talking about goals and objectives. Are we meeting objectives, thus reaching our goals? That's kind of where you go from there. Something else to remember, and this is an awesome short sentence: quality is a moving target. It doesn't, you know, what can be defined as quality is not always the same, you know, and it may have to deal with your clientele. It may have to do with what resources you have available to you. It may have to do with who your supervisor above you is, or the company that you work for and what they're asking you to provide. So quality can change, and what you want to do is have quality be a moving target that is incrementally moving on an upward trajectory, where as you improve your skills, your motivational ability, your leadership ability, that your quality standard is going to be going higher and higher. Therefore, what you're providing is getting better and better. So there's some definitions of quality, and there's two different groups here, and the things that they look at when they're deciding quality as far as healthcare. You know, it's the service we're getting of a substantial good quality. Institute of Medicine listed as being safe, effective, patient-centered, timely, efficient, and equitable, fair. I think those are good things to base quality on. Every one of those are important to me. I especially want it to be safe and effective, you know, obviously. Timely. As a patient, do you guys love going to sit in a waiting room for 2 hours before you ever go back, or being put in a room and then waiting for 45 minutes before anybody comes to you? No. If you could fill out a survey right after that, well, would it be good? No, probably not. So, you know, if what we're able to offer is not wasting people's time, that they could be doing other things, they're going to be more satisfied with the quality of what we're doing, just basically because they're like, hey, they're not wasting my time here. If you're doing all these other things, you're doing everything right. The World Health Organization, their definition of quality includes effectiveness. A lot of this is the same. Efficiency, those two are both there. Accessibility, which is a different one that is not in there with the Institute of Medicine, but accessibility is important. You know, we want everyone to have access, the opportunity to receive, you know, health services, health care, and we fall under health care. If it's being done in a, if we're doing truly therapeutic recreation, it is health care. If we are doing recreation, it is not health care. You know what I'm saying? If we're doing prescriptive work with people to actually improve targeted outcomes, then it is, we would fit in this healthcare. And that's where we need to be as practitioners down the road. You need to remember that it needs to be that recreation with a purpose, you know, to be doing something that fits in this framework. Acceptability or patient-centeredness, that's over there, patient-centered. Equity, again, the same. And safety. Most of all of these are the same. The only thing that they really added was accessibility, and I think that the Institute of Medicine would agree with accessibility as well. I don't see how they couldn't. So, as far as the definition of quality as a recreation therapy provider, you know, or a manager that's leading a group that is providing those services, whether or not what we're providing is quality or not, the customer is going to be a big portion. The customer or consumer is a big part of making that definition of whether what we're doing is quality work. You know, we can't make that decision, because if somebody asked, hey, how'd you do on that paper you wrote? Was it good? Are you going to say, nah? You're not going to do that. You know, you're going to give yourself a high grade. I did great on that. So if somebody asked you, what kind of stuff, how good a quality services do you provide? You're going to be like, we're the best. You know, we do this and we do that. And when it comes down to it, you got to ask these consumers or our patients, clients, whether or not you're giving them quality. They're the ones that make a lot of these final decisions on this. So they determine the relative importance of quality. So a good point that it brings up here. Now, I don't necessarily buy into this 100%, because I think what we do in therapeutic recreation is we need to see quantifiable benefits from what we're providing. That's our ultimate goal. we want to be able to see that we are doing A, B, and C, and these are the results. And when they started, this is how it was. And at the end, they were able to do this. And this is an improvement. And that's what we did by working with them. That's our goal. And that's how we would judge whether or not what we're doing could be considered a quality, product. Now, our consumers, though, the people that we're serving, they tend to judge quality of care by interpersonal aspects of the clinical process because these aspects are the most obvious to them. Any of you guys remember when Moe's was here in Oxford, or am I too old? When you walked in the door, who knows what happens when you walk into Moe's? No, I'm too old. Never mind. You walk in the door, and like part of their whole shtick there and part of their job description, apparently, when you walk in, they say, "Welcome to Moe's," like everybody that works in there. They literally like yell that when you walk in the door. And you can't help but just like smile about it, so you're immediately kind of put in a good mood. I have a gas station that I stop at a lot of mornings and just get a refill on my coffee. And at this one of them that I stop at, the cashiers, they never look up, never do, they don't pay any attention. At this other one, they speak as soon as you walk in the door every day. And I have just about stopped going to the one where they don't speak to you. So what does that tell you for me about just the interpersonal aspects? Do they have better coffee at one over the other? No, they use the same type. I see it on they have the same like creamer and things that you can put in your coffee. So what am I making my choices on? Whether or not how I'm being treated when I walked in the door. Not on the product that I am ingesting. The coffee's great at both places, but I have stopped using the place where they're not friendly. So if you have the option of going to several different places that have recreation therapy, you're going to choose the place where the interpersonal aspects are the best, where you feel welcomed, where you feel like you've built that rapport that we talked about with the therapists, where the people that when you come in the door greet you and say, "Hey, how are you today?" Where they say, "All right, you have a seat, we're going to get right to you," and you actually do get right to them. You don't let them sit there for 45 minutes. Those things are what consumers use to define quality in large part. So that's something that we have to remember, is not only what we do, but how we do it, and the way we make people feel is going to go a long way in the success of what we're trying to do. We want to be the ones that they want to come see because they have fun with us, especially situations like inpatient facilities and things like that. We're the fun ones. When I was at NMRC, that's what we were. They didn't want to go to physical therapy because they were going to make them exercise, or make them, get on the leg pump that was going to try to get swelling out of their legs. Instead of that, I would work on some of the same stuff, but I'd get them in the swimming pool and let hydrostatic pressure push some of the swelling out of their legs. That's a lot more fun than just laying on a table with a pump pumping back and forth on your leg. So we want to be the fun ones. We want to provide quality, get good outcomes, and make people feel good when they're with us, and that matters. This part right here, I am not going to bog you down with this. There may be some test questions where you have to find a couple of these on the last one, but you know that they are in chapter 15. It tells all about what each one of these are. These are all just initiatives to improve the quality of what's being provided. There's quality assurance in at every facility, basically. You're going to have somebody in charge of quality assurance, making sure that there's not things that can be improved, making sure that there's not things that are happening that are dangerous for the consumers. So very, very important position. So top quality management. So management philosophy applied to all individuals, departments, and units within an organization. It's an approach based on a quest for progress and continual improvement in the areas of, here we go, cost, reliability, quality, innovative efficiency, and business effectiveness. So that's basically total quality management. It's all encompassing. You know, you just heard everything that it's talking about. Is it cost effective? Is it reliable? You know, what we're doing. Are we putting out true quality? Are we seeing results? Are we using innovative ideas, innovative treatments, which play into like personal development, play into training of your staff, having people from outside come in and talk to your group about new ideas, keeping up with what's going on. I mean, if you don't keep up with new trends in the field, then you're going to miss out on some good opportunities. You know, is the main thing that I see from this. You want, as it shows here, continuous quality improvement. We want it to be, that's where we said way back on, you know, slide number 3, quality is a moving target. And you want that target to be moving up, up and to the right. We're being more productive. We're providing better services. And in order to make sure that you're doing this, you have to systematically monitor what you're doing. You have to evaluate what you're doing. And through those things, through monitoring and through evaluation, you're going to see where there may be room for improvement or where there may be issues or faults that are happening right now that can be fixed. Once you do that, you can improve the effectiveness and the efficiency of what we are offering to our patients. How can we, you know, it says through teamwork, how can we work as a team to better provide therapy services to our clientele? You know, what can this, even if it's, you know, when it says here teamwork, through teamwork, it's not saying everybody has to come and do an activity all at once. You're not necessarily all doing one thing at the same. Teamwork can be sharing responsibilities more effectively. It can be, as a manager, by you delegating jobs to people as you get to know them better and better. You may see that somebody you assigned to, you know, doing outdoor recreation activities, it's not really their thing. You know, can we improve this by giving this to Thomas, who just came in and he used to be a whitewater rafting guide? You know, he wants to be outside. Some switching around and finding true ways to have teamwork through everyone working, pushing the same direction, not necessarily working on the same items or working with the same patients. They're all working together is what you're talking about, teamwork. All right, let's stop here for today. Tomorrow, next time, what we're going to do is finish this and go into 16. I added a extra credit quiz. Some of you have taken it, you've done well on it. It was pretty simple if you took your other tests and have paid attention when we talked about the answers. So that's something else that trying to help you, because like I say, The whole purpose, and I've told you this before, I just don't want y'all to leave here thinking, man, he made those tests so hard that it was just ridiculous. I want them to be hard. I want you to have to dig through the book because we had a condensed, I mean, I can talk about these chapters, but I can't talk about everything in these chapters. These questions make you actually go through the book, read, and then if you don't get the answers right when we talk about them in class, at least hopefully you can see where it came from. I like the fact that you're having to dig, but I also hope that you like the fact that you can see that I'm trying to make it more fair for you guys, because I know that I've made the test difficult. They're not simple. I know that. All right. I'm going to leave it here for a second. Now let me find, I'm going to pull up one of our, we'll watch a couple of our videos next. Okay, well, we'll watch. We're going to watch Miguel's first. Some of you saw it, some of you didn't. Regardless, it's funny. And I heard some of y'all weren't they telling you about it and you weren't here last time? Okay. Let me go back here and share this screen. All right, here we go.
And today I'll be presenting to you my idea for this project. So while driving, I thought about people with special conditions such as paraplegia and how difficult it is for them to drive, considering that both the brakes and the gas pedals are down below, and they are immobilized from the waist down. So I thought to myself, back then in my construction days, we had two joysticks to operate both the movement of the vehicle and the gas and the brakes. So I thought, why not implement this idea into a regular motorized vehicle so people with conditions such as paraplegia can drive. Throughout this video, I'll be demonstrating my idea via pictures, and then I'll try to give you an actual demonstration of my vehicle. First, I'm going to give a couple of examples of some existing hand controls. Hand controls are devices that people with physical disabilities use in order to drive independently.
See how the thing goes down to the gas and the brake?
Driving hand control. Pretty much you control the gas and the brakes using your left hand. This hand control is a right-handed driver, which means that you are controlling the gas and the brakes using your right hand instead of your left, like we previously saw. In this photo, you see a hand control based off a motor system that already exists. In this photo, you see the interior of a bulldozer. You can see that there's both left and right joystick. So much of the joysticks I plan on using on mine. Now, off to my demonstration. Okay, so for this demonstration, I'm going to need to use your imagination a little bit. First, imagine that this thing was not here. Okay, now that's gone. I need you to imagine these are not remote controls I got from my living room. In fact, these are highly efficient, highly industrialized joysticks. This is the future I'm holding right here in my hands. Okay, well, the right joystick, or the right side of my future, this holds the accelerator. The further forward you press it, it's like pressing the gas pedal. You understand? So if I go forward with it, then go and decelerate. Okay, now the left side of the future. This controls the steering wheel. You go forward to go forward. You go back to put it in reverse. Then you go right to turn, take a right turn, and turn the wheels right. Then you go left to turn the wheels left. But this joystick is also more than 360 motion. So you go forward and turn left. You go forward and then go slightly left to turn to a wider sharp turn. If it's a wide turn, you just go forward and go slightly to the left. So if it's a sharp turn, you go slightly forward and completely to the left. And for those of you wondering, these futuristic joysticks are interchangeable depending on which hand is dominant and which one is not dominant. So if you want to control the accelerator with your left hand, you can switch them out, have it all engineeringly wired into your vehicle.
Engineerly wired.
Accelerator with this one and turn with this one. Now you might be asking yourself, but Miguel, what about the blinkers? What about the music? What about this and that, the air conditioning? These are buttons. This is not the volume button. This is the left blinker. This is not the channel button. This is the right blinker. And all these buttons right here, they're auto assigned to wherever you like.
That was, you guys have been through a bunch of classes with him. You must admit that he came out of his shell for that.
Yeah, like
That is not, he's come a long way since he started in my classes, for real. Like he has, I was going to say, there was a time where he would never have done that. So that, he did a very good job on that. And I was proud because he came out of that shell that he used to be in, and I like that. Let's see, who's our next big, who we're gonna watch next? Let's see. She's not looking at me, so surprise her.
Actually, they were good, but the ones that I made before, they all did perfect. You can't see on the camera, like, they got like bubble at the top. So there's like 6. But, yeah.
All right, this is another good example that has good visuals of, she actually had the materials in hand, and you'll see. I don't have to talk about it. I'll let you guys look at it. Nope. Let's try this. Uh-oh.
My adaptive device.
Okay, we're gonna wait on yours then.
Okay.
I do want everyone to see all of these. What time is it? Oh, we still got a little while. Okay, we can't watch Lonnie today. Can't watch, we already watched him. We can watch yours. We can't watch hers. We can watch yours.
I know how hard that you're going to click on.
How did you know that?
Because I know.
You look seriously official right now.
Caitlin, my videographer, was all listening to me.
You can tell you just tried to get some attention right then.
The sit-up's real nice.
Hello, my name is Caitlin. My assistant, Amy Carmichael, and we'll be making a sensory room stick for kids with autism. Okay, so first we're going to start off with something like this. It can also be like the things you put in, what's it called? Kebabs, skewers,
Or spaghetti, right?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
If they don't fit, you can crack them until they do fit. All right. And then you can add some tape picks to help with the sound of rain. And then to add some fun, you can add some glitter and rice. Also, rice helps with rain.
I didn't hear the whisper on my computer when I watched it.
Yeah, there's a lot of whispering. The videographer was also whispering.
And then paint to help with the color.
This item surprised me.
The paint.
Yes. I thought it would kind of glob it up a little bit, but it really doesn't.
It like just red paint. It's very messy. Perfect. And now place the lid, and if you shake it slowly, like this, and you do this, it sounds like rain. And this helps with the range of motion, and the colors also help with kids who have like sensory issues. The color and the glitter helps with that. And now me and Ethan will also demonstrate how to have rhythm with the sensory range of the whole. Thank you.
Okay.
Every moment of that I made him do.
I'm sure. It doesn't look like it here, though.
No, well, Caitlin, that's her boyfriend, and I said, I just knocked on their door, and I was like, we have your project, I need y'all to say it. So they're like, all right.
You know, it was a funny end. It was a good end. It made you smile. But you know, that's the type thing in recreation therapy. Like I think about working with people with intellectual issues, developmental disabilities. That is exactly the type of thing that you can work with that group. You know, it just shows how you did a great job talking about the different things that it can stimulate, that it can be used for. You know, it is a sensory item. Also, it can be for fun, and it can be used as a sort of, you know, you're talking about music therapy, what you were doing at the end. It's very, very simple idea. You know, really what you're doing, you're using a bottle, spaghetti noodles, or whatever noodles those are. I don't really eat noodles, so I'm the weird guy that doesn't like spaghetti because it's too hard to eat to me. It's the taste is not good enough to fight through those long noodles because I can't have them getting in the beard. That's the main thing. Whatever is not beard friendly is not my friend right now. Let's watch one more. And since you missed class last time, we're going to watch Kelly now. And they seem to do better when I actually watch them from over here.
Hey guys, my name is Kelly. I did my adaptive device on bowling with a budget. I thought of this idea because bowling is a really fun activity that people mainly do for leisure, but it can also definitely have like health benefits and
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you for a moment because I love the title of this because I've lived it. I've seen it in real world scenarios. I've seen my budget go away to literally nothing before almost, and they still expect you to put out a good product. Great idea, very low cost, very simple. Y'all will see what she's talking about. But I really like the title, and we do have to, as recreation therapists, think about how can we do things on a budget? How can we provide a good service without spending a lot of money? And a lot of times that comes from above us. You know, we're told, hey, we're having to cut funding X amount. Another, you know, since we're talking about management and, you know, we're going to be talking to frontline workers who are doing things. We want them to be thinking about ways, you know, hey, give me anything that you think of that we can do as far as activities that aren't going to cost a lot of money because we're in a crunch right now. You know, make sure those communication lines are open and people feel comfortable talking to you if you're in a position such as that. Sorry to interrupt you, Kelly.
it can just be a way like to provide joy for your patients, but bowling usually is hard to access if you deal with clients that can't leave the facility and things like that. So like jails or inpatient facilities, anything like that, they're not going to be able to leave and go to a lawn early. So the Y, like I said, it usually takes place in a facility of its own, and it can get really expensive if you have a big group of clients going. So being able to recreate this activity within a recreational therapy setting would be very inexpensive. I found all of the materials that I used for this project, found them in my house. I didn't have to buy a single thing. It's very convenient because of those reasons, and it's a really easy way to promote leisure activities within a setting and just like kind of change things up. Also, one of the best things about this, I think, is that it's easily modified for different like specific populations. If you have someone who's more high level, maybe they need a more difficult difficulty level, which I'll explain more after the video. Or certain disabilities, they may not be able to do it from a certain distance, but they may not be able to knock down a certain like weight of bowling pin and things like that. But I'm going to show you all a little video of how I did it and the materials that I used. And I'm telling you, this is really basic because I want it to be convenient and easy. And for those recreational therapists who are really like putting a financial strain. So these are my bowling pins. These are just 2 liters filled with like maybe a third of the way with water. You can also use sand or rocks, really just whatever that you have available at your facility. And then I've also got just a basketball here that I'm going to be using to knock these down. So I'm going to show you just kind of the idea behind it. So this is just like balling on a budget bowling. Here we go.
I was pulling for you right here. Boom.
But as you can see, adding the water made it more difficult. This one didn't even knock down. But if you want to make this easier for your patients, you don't even have to put water in it. You could leave it empty. You can also Velcro the bottom of these, like Velcro the bottom of this to the ground and make it really difficult. You can use a smaller size bottle. You can use a 16 or the 20-ounce bottle, or you could use a smaller basketball, like softball, baseball, anything like that. That is going to make it more difficult or easier, depending on your population. So that's basically it, you guys. It's really simple and tips is because, like I said, I enjoy bowling. I know it's a very fun activity, but it's not really idealistic to, field trips and things like that aren't exactly an option for a lot of different facilities. And this is something that you can do in a hospital and nursing home and veterans facility, the VA. There's all kinds of different ways to modify it, and it's going to be really easy and convenient for you. And I think it's something that's going to be really fun for your clients, and it's going to bring a lot of joy to them. So thank you.
Yeah, she's got a few tabs for sure. What do you guys think? Good idea? I thought it was a super, super good idea. I love the fact that it is cost efficient. You can do it anywhere. You could do it in a hallway in a nursing home. You could do it outside. You can make it easy with no water. You can make it super hard with water and Velcro where they have to throw as hard as they can. I mean, literally, there's so many variations that can be done for very, very, very little cost. Now, our number one goal isn't to cut cost. If you've got the budget, buy the best items. I mean, you know what I'm saying, but there's times, that's something that could be done with a camp, a youth camp. They would have fun doing that. Kids can play with a cardboard box. So you can't tell me they wouldn't enjoy bowling like that. They would be yelling and competing, and it's just, I thought it was a really good idea. All right, let's see. Let's do one more, and I'll cut y'all loose. I might have already said that one time, but we're gonna do one more because it's only like 11:19 or 10:19. Sorry, I hadn't. You're like, you kept us too long. Next victim. I like this one because she's talking about something that I really like doing, for one. Oh, I forgot I wasn't on my Mac. Here I go again. All right, here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Aisha Eichelberger, and I decided to do my adaptive device on fishing rods. So I come up with 3 different ways to use a fishing rod for those with cerebral palsy. So I don't have a fishing rod with me. Fishing rods are expensive and I'm a little broke. So I'm just going to explain it.
Some good honesty right there.
In detail. So the first fishing rod would be a fishing rod with an arm brace. So as you all know, arm braces are effective for people with limited mobility. So how a fishing rod with the arm brace would work, you would, the arm brace would be clamped onto the person's arm for holding the fishing rod in position, and they can use their other free end to maneuver the reel as they would want it to be. The second.
A lot of times in that situation, when you're talking about cerebral palsy, they will have a dominant hand that is more able to do things. So she makes a very good point. If you would use the brace or holder basically on the arm that they don't have as much control over, that gives them the opportunity to, you know, not only be independent on something that they would have a hard time with, but it gives them the opportunity to, they're kind of exercising that other side, working on some motor skills that they wouldn't have the opportunity to.
Adaptive fishing rod would be a fishing rod with a body brace. So a body brace is a harness, you know, that's built in from your shoulders to the shoulders and back. And attached to the body brace is a metal, almost like a holder, a metal rod or some kind of holder to
like what you would slide a flag into on the house.
And that can give you an angle to just sit and hold your fishing rod and reel that way.
Interrupting again. Anybody ever seen anything like that? You ever been deep sea fishing? I was going to say, if you've ever been deep sea fishing, they actually have those. And that's what, of course, the reason you have them there is because you're fighting a dang 500-pound shark or something, and you can't hold it. They pull it right out of your hand. So you shove that, it goes around, like you say, it's connected, and you have a holder, just like what you're talking about. You place it down in there. You're not having to worry about holding on to that rod, really. You can just worry about fighting that fish for the next hour, trying to get it to the boat. But those actually are something that are out there, and they're used almost primarily for like offshore fishing, that type of thing. Perfect usage with a special population, not in that, they can't hold it. Hey, use it for one of our clients because that gives them the opportunity to fish when they wouldn't have been able to. So I really liked that it's, whether you realized it was an existing product or not, it's one that is out there, but you put it with a whole different group than what it's designed for. So that was a positive.
And the third adaptive device for a fishing rod would be a rod holder. So if you want to fish in your boat, there will be a little rod holder that will be attached to the side of the boat, and you can just stick your your fishing rod in the rod holder, and you can maneuver your boat as you want. And when you catch your fish, you just lean over to your reel, and you can reel it in just like that on your boat without any complications. That's all I have as far as my adaptive devices. I hope that was detailed enough for you all to understand what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I don't have a fishing rod, but thank you all for listening.
All right, there's 4 or 5 of you who have escaped thus far. You shall not escape much longer. But anyway, good job to the ones that we watched today. I'm proud of all of you guys for what you did on this. Good opportunity to get some points, and I think a really good experience. You know, I know you got a lot going on, but still, it's good to think outside the box sometimes, and that's what I wanted out of this. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. We're gonna we gotta finish up 15, 16. I'm gonna go ahead and open y'all's test up pretty soon where y'all can start on it, because we've covered most of the material. You don't have to finish it. I won't make it where you have to do it all in one sitting. So I'm gonna go ahead and deploy that test where y'all can start, and you can be mostly done ahead of time with this final test if that suits you guys. I'm gonna do some similar things in 262 also. I'm about to just cut that one loose and tell y'all are basically done in that one. So have a good weekend. Be safe. See you next Tuesday for more of the same. Thank you, guys.